Hey guys, this week I wanted to cover our basic workflow up to this point. This was going to be your semester workflow for Photography 2, and it'll probably stay pretty true to this throughout the entire semester. If anything changes, I will update everybody. I guess to start off with, I'm just going to start at the very beginning. I'm not going to work through every step, but just kind of review. This is going to build on our workflow from Intro to Photography last semester. And I'm just going to go through the steps real quick, and then I'm going to pick this up and start to demo this once we get into something that we haven't already covered in a previous video or we haven't covered in class. Alright, so where we're going to start is when you go out and you shoot your assignments, you're going to bring those pictures back on your camera, take your card out of your camera, put your card into your computer, and you're going to plug in your hard drive also. And you're just going to move your cards from your SD card from your camera to your hard drive. Alright, so that's really our first step. We're just transferring our cards from the SD card to the hard drive. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go into Lightroom, and we're going to make sure that we import those photos that we just copied into Lightroom. And we've talked in a previous video of how we go through this. We select our photos and we're going to import those into Lightroom, and that will get them to where we can go in and start doing whatever else we're going to do to them. Alright, so after they've been imported, the next thing we're going to do is either rate or flag those images. However you want to do it, I do not care. But you're going to go through, cycle through all of these images, pick the images that you want to use, pick the images that you want to reject. This can be also done prior to importing, completely up to you. Do not care how you do it. But once you have gone through and flagged or gone in and rated those images, you know that those are the images that you want to work with. Now, for our assignments in this part of the semester, I asked you to create two different contact sheets. One is going to have your unedited shots. One is going to have your edited shots. So after we've gone in and we have imported them and we have flagged them in Lightroom, we're going to go through and we're going to pick the ones that we're going to use. Those will be the ones that were flagged. So let's just say that we're doing an assignment and it requires you to shoot or to have 20 pictures. Now, all assignments won't, but let's just pretend like this assignment does. 20 pictures. You've gone through, you flagged all 20 of the pictures that you want to use. What you're going to do then is select those 20 images. So I'm just going to pretend like these are the images that I want to put on my contact sheet. Alright, once you've chosen your 20 images, we're going to put those unedited images on a contact sheet. This is going to be the first contact sheet that we build. So we're going to go to our print dialog. The other day in class we talked about how to set these contact sheets up, but we're going to do a 3-row, 2-column contact sheet. You can rotate to fit. We're going to turn the guides off. And this is for our assignment contact sheets, not our location contact sheets. But for our assignment contact sheets, you're going to scroll all the way down here to the Page tab. And right up under Photo Info, you're going to plug in a couple of these things. Let's go to Edit. Let's click on where it says File Name and just go to Edit. And we're going to leave the file name on here. We're going to say comma, space, and then we're going to add or insert the exposure. Put your cursor up here, comma, space. And then right here where it says model, we're going to actually click on that and we're going to choose the ISO speed rating. And that is the text that we're going to apply to all of our images. You're just going to click Done. And what's going to happen is when I take a look at your contact sheets, it's going to give me your file name. Prior to this file name change, I did forget to mention this. Make sure that you batch rename your files. So you've chosen your 20 or whatever you're going to do, or maybe you just batch renamed all of your files for this particular project. Make sure that you do that before you actually make your contact sheet. So back to the contact sheets. I can see your file name. I can see your exposure, your shutter speed, your f-stop that you shot at, and your ISO speed. That way, if there's any issue with your manual exposure, we can physically see it, and we can take a look and say, oh, hey, you should have opened your aperture up more, or you should have slowed your shutter speed or sped your shutter speed up a little bit. So this is what I want to see on your assignment contact sheets. So you would just go through the same process that we did last semester. Click on printer. Just go to save as PDF, and you will save that contact sheet the way that we talked about in class. You're going to save it as the class number, 2705 underscore, your name. So whatever your name is, just plug it in, underscore, whatever the assignment is. If you want to do assignment number, if you want to do assignment name, this was manual, exposure, underscore, and I want you to add unedited underscore CS. I know that's a long file name, but this file name gives me all the information that I'm going to need to take a look at your contact sheets and grade accordingly. It's a class number, your name, the project title, manual exposure, or whatever the project is, unedited. This tells me that all of these images are your unedited images, and CS just for contact sheet. Save that, put that on the Google Drive. That's your first contact sheet. I'm gonna hit cancel, and I'm gonna go back to library. All right, so to continue on with our workflow, that was just part of it. We've gone in and we've chose them. We selected them all, we stuck them on a contact sheet, we saved that contact sheet so that we can turn that unedited contact sheet in. Now what we want to do is the 20 pictures that we have chosen, we want to go in and we want to start processing these images. So we're going to go into the Develop tab, and just like last semester, you can crop, you can change any of your tonal treatments to these, making them darker, making them brighter, controlling your highlights, your shadows, whatever, your presence, your clarity, whatnot, tone curves. This coming week in class, we're actually going to get into the HSL and color adjustment sliders. We're even going to look at some black and white adjustments. We'll get into split toning and whatnot, so we'll give you a lot more options in terms of editing this week in class. But you will go in, you will edit however you want to edit these shots. And then once you are finished, you are going to select those same 20 images that you sent me earlier. The same 20 images, except this time they're edited. And you're going to go back to your print. You shouldn't have to set this up again. You're going to go to printer, save as PDF, and you're going to do the exact same thing. 2705 underscore your name underscore project title, whatever it was, manual exposure underscore, and this time you're going to say edited underscore CS. So you'll have two contact sheets, an unedited contact sheet and then an edited contact sheet, and I'll be able to see your original exposure and also your edited image. You'll save that one. You will put both of those into the appropriate folder on the class Google Drive. And if anybody has any questions about any of this, please just ask me in class. All right, so we've gone in, we've got our images ready, we've completed our project, and the last thing that I would like for you to do, we will preview some of these in class on Behance. We won't do all of them, but I would really like for you to start really just branding yourself as a photographer. And what I mean by that is, once you finish your projects, I don't want you to just share your images with me and allow me to see them. I want you to put your images out there so you can start building your photography portfolio. Now, a portfolio is going to be a living, breathing document. You're always going to be updating it. You'll always pull old projects off and put new projects up. But Behance, which is what we're going to use and what we demoed in class the other day, is going to be an awesome free program that you can use. Adobe owns it, program that you can use. It's online, and as soon as you put your stuff on there, anybody can see it. So that's good. It's a good way to get feedback. It's a good way to get your name out. It's also a really, really awesome way to point people to your portfolio. So if someone asks you to do a job, maybe you've posted a couple of your pictures on Facebook or whatnot, and they're like, "Ooh, these look awesome," you can point them to your portfolio and then get that word of mouth advertising going and really start to hopefully get some photography jobs up under your belt, and all kind of starting from these class projects that we've done and we've put on Behance. So this portion of our workflow will be done on most projects, but not all projects, and I will make sure that I point to that when we're doing these projects in class. Okay, so after we've gone in and we've created both contact sheets, we've gone in, we've edited, whatever, we've got all of that ready, you're going to pick your top 3 to 5 images from that particular assignment. So let's say that I like this one, I liked this one, and I liked this one. And let's also say I like this one and that one. And these are my top 5. They're all been edited. They're ready to go. What we want to do is we want to be able to save these and put these on Behance. Okay, so what I want to do is, we talked about this process in class the other day. I wanted to go back through it again with you real quick. So from your library tab, you're going to pick your top 3 to 5 images. Okay, and once we've done that, we're going to go to the export tab. Now once we get to the export tab, your export dialog box is going to pop up, and it's going to allow you to do a lot of different things. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to choose the location of where these images are going to be exported. Okay, so we're going to choose right here. If this says desktop or documents or anything, just click on it and say specific folder. And we're just going to click specific folder. We're going to go to the choose button, and you're going to pick where you want to save these images. I would save them into the same folder that you're working out of. Now, I showed you one way to do this in class. I'm going to show you another way to do it today. Let's say I want to go into my documents folder. I don't know, I'm going to put it into this folder right here, and I'm just going to click choose. That's my top level folder. If you see this right here, it says put in subfolder. Okay, what this is going to do is, if you choose this, if you click this right here, it will automatically create a new subfolder for you. So if you're working on assignment 1, just choose the assignment 1 folder, put a check beside this put in subfolder, and just create your folder and just name it Behance. Okay, that'll create a brand new subfolder inside of that project folder named Behance. That's all you need to do on that particular one. File naming, I wouldn't worry about that. I just uncheck it. You've already renamed all of your files. You shouldn't have to worry about that. No video options that you need to do. File settings, this one is important. We're going to choose JPEG, and let's set the quality to 80. So somewhere around 80 we'll leave for the quality, 20% compression on that. I'm just going to close these down as I work. Image sizing, this is the important one. Now, unless something has changed on Behance, and I can go back and look at that, and if it has changed, I will let you guys know in class. But as of right now, Behance they like to keep their images around 1400 pixels as its maximum size. So what we're going to do is we're going to click resize to fit. We're going to choose long edge, and we're going to make sure that this right here says 1400 and set the resolution to 72 pixels per inch. Okay, so that'll take whatever the long edge is, whether it's the vertical or the horizontal edge, whichever one is the longest, and it's gonna size that down to 1400 pixels at 72 pixels per inch. This will not overwrite your original file or anything like that. This is gonna export out a new JPEG file at this size, which we will put on Behance. So that's all you need to do for image size. Output sharpening, I wouldn't worry about it. Metadata, you can just leave it at the default. Make sure there's no watermark on these unless you have some kind of branding watermark you want to put on them. As of right now, nobody really does. Post-processing, nothing. and then we're just going to click export. You'll see up here in the top left hand corner that Lightroom has exported these out. I'm just going to go to my documents folder. I'm going to take a look inside of my DMPT folder, and I've got my Behance file, and these are all of my images, 1400 933, and that's what all of these images exported out as. Alright, once our images have been exported and we've got them ready to put onto Behance, we're just going to go open up our browser, just go to behance.net, log into your profile, and once you've logged into your profile, you're going to see a button up here at the top that says create a project. We're just going to click on that button. The project builder is going to open up over here on the left hand side or right here in the middle. You're just going to click upload files, and we're going to navigate to the appropriate folder where we just saved all of those files. Got my Behance files. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to click open, and Behance is going to upload all of these images, and what I've got is the beginning of a Behance project. Okay, once my image is finished uploading, we'll talk about this in a later class. You can go in and insert text in between or anything like that. We will talk about that a little later on. For right now, just upload your files and click continue. Now your cover image is you're basically creating the tile that everybody's going to see in Behance. So make sure that you make it creative. You can choose from any file that you have that you've uploaded. So maybe I want to use this one. I can scale it up. This is going to give me a preview. I can move it around. Maybe I don't want to use that one. Maybe I want to use this one. Scale it up. Move it around. And just get that tile the way that I want it. And then I'm going to give it a project title. So maybe just like manual exposure, or whatever you want to title it. It really doesn't matter. But give it a title, pull it in here, zoom in, move it around, however you want to do it. Make it creative enough that somebody's going to want to click on it and look at your project. And then we're going to click crop and continue. Now the only thing that you're required to do in this project settings tab is plug in a creative field. You'll see required right there. The rest of these things you don't have to worry about. We'll talk about these at a later date in class. But you're going to click add, and we'll just choose photography and any other tags that you may want. Okay, so you could do tools used if you used Lightroom or Photoshop. We'll talk about those later. Display, discoverability. If you want to give your project a description, you are not required to. If you want to add any keywords like photography or manual or landscape or whatever you want to do with that, you can do that. And again, we will talk about these at a later date. And when you're finished, you're just going to click publish. Okay, it's going to give you a link, ask if you want to publish drop a link on any of your social media accounts. You can do that if you choose to. Not in the scope of this demo today though. And basically what you got is you get your very first project on Behance. Now if you go to profile, you'll see that this project is now on Behance. You can click on it and you can scroll through all of the images that you've put on here. Okay, and when you get down to the bottom, and this is just with anybody, it will show you how many people have actually viewed this, how many people have appreciated it, and how many comments you have. So if somebody comments on your stuff, they'll comment on it down here and you can read that. So it's a good way to get noticed. It's a good way to brand yourself. We're going to be using this for some critiques in class this semester. So let me know what you think. If you have any questions, please ask in class, and if not, we will move on to something new next week.